too.
Hmm?
Beans from Mom's garden.
An abundance of beans from Mom's garden.
NanNan, have you cracked a lot of beans in your lifetime?
You kidding? Pick 'em too. Not saying anything about Paul ain't best, but she got the butter of the crop. I'd have to come water by hand for to wash with. Go to the cornfield and get corn for dinner. Run after the old yeller or driving horse to go to the store. Oh, I got it all. She wasn't able to, Pop said. She was threatened with appendicitis for a long time.
Threatened with. Did she ever actually get it?
She ever actually what?
Did she ever actually get appendicitis, or just thought she was going to?
Or no. She never did. She had smallpox.
Did you ever have any bad diseases?
I think I had the measles one. And since I've been married, I've had the shingles. Ain't much I haven't had. Had to stump this toe that was in good shape. Now it's sore.
How did you do that?
I don't know, Leonard, unless I run the wheel on the table. I put the table between the beds at night to make more room in there. And I must have run that little wheel on it, and I didn't notice it just kept going. When I looked at it, I broke the you know, nail this part of it. I can't say it.
Toenail.
Toenail.
Toenail, yeah.
NanNan, how many different places can you remember living in your lifetime?
But after I was married,
No, in your lifetime.
Even before?
well,
Where were you
We had
living
a-
when you were born?
we was living. Leonard, I'm not just sure, but I believe we were still living in that home there at Oak Grove. I
Oak
think
Grove.
the children was all born and raised there. Old Grove Church, you've heard us talk about that. That was about 6 miles out of Rockport. And Dad owned that place. And Uncle Bill Meredith, he used to be a neighbor over there. The school and church both was just right across the field from us. And we would go to school over there. It was a little red brick schoolhouse. And then on up the knoll, just across the yard, was the church. I can see it so plain. And we would walk to school every day. And they had protracted meeting. And they dismissed evening service a lot of times at school for us to go to church. So one morning I was converted up there. We lived there. Hugh was born there. Well, I guess all of us. And Uncle Bill Meredith lived over back of the schoolhouse. And he was always borrowing money from Papa. And he come over and one Dad to sign his check. One time the check bounced. The old man had never cashed it. Or had cashed it and didn't pay enough back, you know. Papa went bankrupt. Well, he had about 4 teams. And of course, that Uncle John Haynes, he went to know at that time. Uncle John did. when it come due, Papa couldn't pay it. Uncle John took all his horses, mules. Had 2 team of mules and 2 or 3 horses. And he began to look for a place to live. And he got a house by Clay Hill, Uncle John's small house. And that was just before I was married. Me and Arthur was talking about getting married then, and Papa come to me one day and he said, Ed, would you mind to put your wedding off a little while? Said, we're going to have to move, and Bess is not able. Now there he took her every time, you know. And we'll need you awful bad. I said, why, yes, probably we can wait a couple of weeks. So Charlie was worse then.
Charlie.
My brother died of TB. I got 2 brothers dead that died of TB. And he died right in the middle of it. And sometime me and Arthur got married. That was right after that big snow. 1919, wasn't it? And Arthur was at Hills then, working. And he got a horse and Dave's that had been on the pasture and was just like a wild Jenny. So I thought I was going to get poured out of that buggy that night. I got scared of snow in the fence corners and he'd rear straight up in the wheel. So Phil and Willie went with us to be witnesses at the wedding, and we went over to Roush's, Reverend Roush. And didn't have any big to do, it all went back home. So me and Arthur took out down to Hill's place down the bottom. I cooked for him while I was working. So, that's part of my life. Annabelle come along.
Where were you living then when Annabelle was born?
Huh?
Where were you living when Annabelle was born?
Payne Hill, working for Ayers. And Joan. Let's see, Joan. Not Lawrence. I don't remember, 2 boys was running that place. Annabelle was born there at Payne Hill.
Where's that in conjunction with Rockport? Is that close to Rockport too?
It's closer than Oak Grove. The church is down now and the schoolhouse is down. I don't guess there's anything left over there, even the old trees.
You're even almost down, aren't you? And you're even down.
Yes, I'm going fast.
And then after Annabelle got married, you lived by yourself for a while?
For all a while, yeah.
No, not for all the while. Because when I married Annabelle, you were living with her then.
How long, Annabelle? When my health started to going bad, Annabelle said, now, Mother, you better come down here at Evansville. But I rented an apartment. Where was it?
It was right,
Avenue.
yeah, it was right across the street from where I lived,
Oh, yes, over there in,
the villa.
mhm.
Sure, just stay away from that.
You was born, where did you live when you was born? There, didn't
Oh,
you?
no, no. We lived out on Washington Avenue, upstairs apartment.
Oh, yes. Way out.
Almost to Washington Square.
That's when I was running around Casey. He come, brought me down to see the baby and all. And Gresham was there, and Annabelle, and there was another one or two. And it was real hot. And they had, the boys who got to the table was ready to drink a drink. And they had a pitcher of beer, I think. Anyhow, I got beer in my glass. Ooh. Bitter stuff. See how anybody can drink. You must have a good stomach.
Well, I heard you talk about working at Republic.
Yes.
Where else
I
did you?
was still at Rockport then, me and Bob Mandel. I went down, had a ride upstairs over Helen Anderson's store. You know where that was? Well, we lived there then. And I worked, I guess, 3 years, 4.
What kind of work did you do for Republic? Welding or
Small welding.
small welding?
Oh, I thought you were a riveter.
Well, wait a minute. Now, we fixed them to be riveted.
Oh,
Rosie the Riveter?
Effie the riveter.
What?
She was Rosie the Riveter?
Yes. Rosie said Rosie.
What was the name of that store that we used to always go down and get ice cream from? When you lived there on, what was the name of that street?
Pearl?
Pearl.
And that's Helen Anderson.
I don't know. They're on the corner of Main Street.
On Main Street or that Fifth Street, honey? Fifth Street was the North and South Street there.
There, where I got my dishes, but I got a set of dishes, you know. Or did I get that here at Edmonton?
That goes in Evansville.
Have you used them?
Mm-mm.
Haven't had enough company?
No.
And didn't I hear you say one time something about working in a hotel?
Yeah, I worked in a Rockport hotel for 3, I guess, right at 3 years.
What, cleaning rooms or cooking or what?
Cleaning the whole business.
Cleaning everything.
I was working there when Leonard took Annabelle.
What?
Working there when Leonard, not Leonard.
Lena.
Arthur. Arthur just showed himself that afternoon. He brought Lena out and sit in the front, and I was over across the street cleaning windows. And he stopped you as you come to school and told you that that was Lena. And this is my girl. I don't ever have to bother her. She's a girl that's not bad. Oh, you never heard so like. Annabelle come home and told me. I said, well, you go back and tell your daddy that you're not just exactly now eligible or ready for spanking, but I can spank you if you have to be. He was trying to let on like he had been the one that raised her. I never did have to spank her but twice.
Well, what other jobs did you have besides the hotel and the Republic Aviation?
After we moved to Miss Atkinson. How old was you then? Right across from UB Church. All in after I had to put out for myself, I picked any job I could get that was honest and respectable. I cleaned windows, I did washing, and I was janitor of the UB Church for a while. Just anything to make bread. I've seen and heard of quite a bit of people.
See, you sold Avon products too, didn't you?
Yes. Jack of all trades. You're making a new,
And iron.
Used to take in all kinds of ironings.
I did ironing, kept the church for a while, and I kept Arthur. But one time, the mailman come on Sunday. He wouldn't go to church. He was out late the night before, and he slept so late. When I come home, the bed was unmade and everything. And I took Barbara and went ahead. So I come home and got the bed made up. He finally come in. He was out and gone when I got home. He finally come in, and I didn't have dinner quite ready. But he left to, no, that was before he got there. Two girls, I was looking for him at the front door. Two girls knocked on the door. And it was two of his girls that he had took to the dance the night before. And they want to know where ours was. I happened to look up. He was in that old modesty Ford. And he was coming along almost to the crossing there on 5th and Main. 5th and not really Main. Elm, I believe. And
I graduated from high school on May the 16th, 1916, and the following Monday I began employment at the International Steel Company as a dressman at $5 a week.
No. In high school, you worked for the newspaper, though, didn't you, before that?
Oh, yes. You want to start over?
No, that's all right.
That's right. I did work for both the Democrat and the Journal for a while. And,
Well, what'd you do? First delivered papers and then counted papers? Is that?
That's right. I delivered papers, and then I got the job of counting out all the papers in Evansville, which at that time was only about 20,000. And,
You counted them out for the other carriers.
for the other carriers, they all had to come down to the office to get their papers. No papers were delivered to the carriers. Then I worked for International Steel Company until 1927, when I took a job with the Evansville Structural Supply Company, which was managed by a man who was formerly with International Steel, and he needed me as a draftsman, and while under his supervision, I was able to get a professional engineer's license in structural engineering. I worked for him for about 18 months when he went broke. That was right at the beginning of the Depression. That was in October 1929. Well, I needed a job, and of course wait a minute. Oh, that was 1927, and I worked for him then until 1929, when the Depression hit, and I'm getting all mixed up.
That's all right.
I worked for Vought until 1927, and then I got a job with Harry Boyle, the architect, as a draftsman, and then I stayed with him until the Depression hit in October 1929, and he told me that I would either have to work half-time at half price, try to get another job. So that was an election year, and they had just elected a new mayor, which was Frank Greasy. He was a Democrat, but and the former building commissioner was a Republican. And of course I was considered a Republican, but nevertheless I made application for the job. And Mr. Greasy was a good friend of Louise's. She had worked with him, and she was working with S. Cons, and he was a wholesale grocer broker. Well, I made the application, and it was quite a little while in getting an answer on it. But I made a number of contacts with a lot of my friends, and immediately after January the 1st, I got the appointment for building commissioner for 4 years. We worked for 4 years.
It'd be January 1930.
Yeah. And then 1934, it was time for another election, but the legislature postponed the election to save some expenses, gave us another year in office.
Is that right?
And then, but at the end of that year, Mr. Greasy was defeated for re-election, and of course, I was out of a job.
Do you remember who replaced him as mayor?
Mayor Dress.
That was one Dress. Mm-hmm.
And well, I might mention about my salary. When I first started to work as building commissioner, it was $300 a month. And but the last year, when the 5th year, they cut that 10%. And then after that, I naturally looking for another job. I had a short-time job with an insulation company on Fulton Avenue. I've forgotten the name of the company, and I worked with them for just about 6 months. Then the opportunity came to represent Hugh J. Baker Company of Indianapolis, which I did. And that was in 1935, and I stayed with them until 1953. At the same time, while I was working for them, I was taking on a few lines of my own, independent of Hugh J. Baker Company. And then in 1953, I resigned from Baker. I started my own company, Swamp Building Specialties Incorporated, and stayed with that until 1975.
Now you had your office here at 116 first.
That's right.
Then you moved to Grandma's house, is that right? On
No.
the front room of Grandma's?
I moved to an office down on 2nd Street for a while.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Then to Grandma and Grandpa's, and then on Main Street, and then on Harriet and Iowa Street.
The place on Main Street was just north of Columbia.
That's right.
On the east side of the street.
That's right.
It's an insurance company there now, I believe.
No, it's American Sanitary Company.
American Sanitary, yes.
Yeah. Well,
that insulation, was that John's Mansville insulation you were selling for them, or?
no, they had Ruberoid.
Ruberoid. But what about Celotex? Now, where did Celotex come
I was with Baker.
That was with Baker.
And of course, we were there on the highway from 1953, oh no, 57 to 75.
Other than an occasional secretary, when was the first time you had another employee working for you?
That was when I, shortly after I went with Hugh J. Baker Company, I got Bill, Al Greenman.
Al Greenman, yes.
And later on it was Bill Bitter and Vic Thompson. Well, that covers it, I guess.
One other thing, you were working for International Steel during World War I after you got out of high school.
Yeah.
And didn't you serve in the state militia after that?
Oh, yes. During that time.
During the same time, in the state militia.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
I had to make several trips with the militia. Had to go up to Lincoln, Indiana, a threatened telephone strike, and then up to Gary, Indiana, threatened steel strike. So we had patrol duty up there as a militia.
And I seem to remember you talking about making a trip to Iowa sometime. Who was that for, and what was that all about?
Well, that was to visit the Pella Company.
No, I think it was before that. Maybe
I
shortly
know.
after you were out of high school.
I know what it was. It was during World War I. Shortly after Carrie had lost her, had been divorced from her first husband, I went to spend Christmas with her there.
Oh, is that what it was? It wasn't a business trip then. I was thinking it was a business trip.
Oh, that was a hectic trip.
Why? In what way?
Oh, the soldiers on the train and so forth.
Oh, crowded.
Crowded.
Uh-huh.
And of course we made several trips for Pella to Pella and Cleveland and Chicago, various meetings they had.
Pella, that was Roll Screen Company.
Mm-hmm.
And what sort of vacation trips do you recall off?
Well, we had a number of them. We made one trip during a railroad strike down to Paducah and then to Alabama.
Muscle Shoals?
Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
That was on a steamboat.
Steamboat. Forgotten the name of it. But Henry and Walter were with us on that trip.
Mm-hmm.
Then another time, before we were married, we made a trip to Mammoth Cave on the steamer Evansville. And of course, after you kids were here, we made a trip to St. Louis and got on the Garden Green, was it?
Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle.
And made an Illinois River trip, wasn't it?
Illinois River.
And how about a trip on the Cape Girardeau?
Yes.
Now that was later named the Garden Sea Green.
Oh, that's all.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, during back in I think it's both in 32 and 33, we went to the World's Fair in Chicago.
I believe it was 33 and 34.
Okay.
We were just looking at the guidebook from the 1934 World Fair yesterday or day before, and that's why I hadn't remembered that. Now, as I recall, Us 4 kids did not go with you the first time, isn't that right?
That's right.
But we did go the second time.
Just Bertha Diefendorf and Louise and me.
Oh, I didn't remember that. And who stayed here with us? Do you remember?
I believe the Warners.
The Varners? Oh, yeah. Well, you think this is enough?